Today I'm talking about a story of a child who was 8 years old and was playing football in a small village of Japan. Then suddenly he saw a machine that was moving and having four wheels. That was a Ford's Model T. That child was so surprised after seeing this machine. And that was a day who introduced a child, a machine, a vehicle, and mechanical parts. He was a Soichiro Honda. And who knew that in upcoming time we will see his name on every single small or big vehicle. So this child, Soichiro Honda, was born in 1906 near the village in Mount Fuji, Japan. His father, apart from being a blacksmith, he also used to do a cycle repair job part-time. Honda has 5 siblings, but all are died because of various diseases. From here his parents was having high hopes with his child, but Honda has zero interest in his studies. However, the Honda was so interested in repairing cycle with his father. When Honda turned into 16s, he saw an advertisement in a newspaper looking for a technician at Shokai, an automobile service station in Tokyo. Honda wrote a letter to this company for a job and was lucky enough to get a positive response. That was a time when Honda left home and school and hoped to earn and left for Tokyo. Honda's dream was shattered when he reached Shokai in Tokyo. The owner of the company started getting Honda to do cleaning work and also put on babysitting work. What would poor Honda have done? He had left his home and parents. On the other hand, he was being asked to do unnecessary work, as he was ashamed to go back his village and face his parents. That was a reason who was keep holding him to stick with this job and do the same work. He forced himself to stick with this, and after a few months, the owner started taking the workshop work from Honda. Honda had a lot of interest in this work, and that's the reason he learned so many things in few months. He had come to know about all type of vehicles and their parts. During this time, Shokai also made 2 sports cars, in which first was Daimler and the second was Curtis. Both of these vehicles were made by using the used engine, which won the Japanese Motor Cars Championship 1924 and secured a first position. And Honda was still a good mechanic, but he was sitting in this race as an engineer with the driver. That was an event after which Soichiro Honda made motorsports his religion for the next several years. He continued work in Shokai and was keep increasing his experience. In 1928, at the age of 22, his owner decided to open a new branch, was in Hamamatsu City. And owner decided to send Honda to run this branch. Honda started this new branch of Shokai with 2 workers, and in just 2 years, it has increased to 30 workers now. Honda had also become a brilliant mechanic and a racing car driver. Taking advantage of his mastery, he designed a sports car for his owner. This car could run at a speed of 120 km per hour, which has broken all the old records. This record persists Japan's highest record for the next 20 years. The importance of the Honda had increased in the heart of the owner of Shokai. He wanted to open his own workshop, but perhaps the luck didn't work in his way. During the car racing in 1936, Honda had a great dangerous accident. His life was saved, but his left arm got fractured badly and shoulder dislocated happened and face was wound. He could see his life ending here. Neither he could work as a mechanic, nor he could participate in any racing. After several months, when he got well, Again, he requested the owner of Art Shokai that he can no longer can do this repairing work anymore. Rather, he presented the idea, why not we can start a spare parts company to make spare parts. The stakeholders of Art Shokai quickly rejected Honda's idea. They were already making good profit and good money. No one wanted to take risk. After this, Honda decided to open his own company where he will manufacture the spare parts alone. In 1936, at the age of 30, he opened two Kiyosaki Heavy Industries together with his friend and made his friend Shokai Sokado as a president of the company. He started the company, but he has no investment to run the company. So he decided to work for Art Shokai during the day, while at night he was working for his company, for himself. And he tried to make engine pistons for his own company. For the next several months, he continued this routine, but he could not get any success. He had become weak due to continuous work, and the failure after another failure was keep blocking his way. But he didn't give up and took admission in a university, masters in metallurgy. In 1939, after continuous hard work for 3 years, finally he succeeded in making a piston. Now he left the job at Art Shokai and started making full-time pistons. But he did not know there are many faults in the piston made by him. When he offered his piston to the Toyota company, the Toyota company has rejected 47 out of 50 designs that's new struck to Honda, as he never had anything back. He started to tour all over the Japan to understand most of the company's requirements. He visited different factories, car manufacturers. He spent the next several years to understand the market, and after that, the Honda once again made a piston. This time, the entire company had passed the quality control of the system. He started getting orders and drafts. And once again, Honda, he saw his dream came true. To fulfill the orders and requirement, Honda's company hired 2,000 people as the workers. Honda's this happiness was a guest for few months. Who knew that in 1941, Japan jumped into World War II and the ministry took control of several Japanese companies, including one owned by Soichiro Honda, was downgraded to the position of senior managing director of his company. And things only got worse and worse when the company workers were drafted into military services. Next 3 years passed an extreme difficult condition. But in 1944, an accident happened which completely dashed Honda's hopes. During this year, rapid missile directly hit the Honda's factory. The condition of the whole country was getting worse and worse. Japan seemed to be fighting. Then there were 2 nuclear attacks in 1945, which completely broke the back of Japan. After this incident, Japan surrendered to the Americans. War was over, but Honda had lost everything. He sold his remaining assets to Toyota for 450,000 yen. He sat jobless once again. This condition was not only with Honda, but the whole Japan was going through with very bad crisis. The economy was melting very bad. There was bad shortage of food and water, and inflation has broken everyone's back. It was very difficult to get public transport because the petrol got really expensive in Japan. During this time, the Honda received a small engine from Japanese Imperial Army, which the army used to operate for a wireless radio. Forced by his habit, he got an idea. Why not he solve the transport problem by installing an engine in a cycle? With this, the transport will become so cheaper and easy. It will also cheaper because those days people were already very worried about the inflation when they saw the same engine fitted on a bicycle. So everyone liked this idea very much. Honda got few used engine, but the demand was so high. Now Honda has designed its own new engine. This was the first time in history that the Honda logo was seen. Honda did not have enough money to make these cycles at mass level. So he wrote open letters to 18,000 shopkeepers. People have so much trust in Honda. 3,000 shopkeepers gave him positive reply and also gave him money in advance. In next 3 years, Honda made such motorcycles, which was according to the requirements of the market. It was launched in the name of Super Cup, which took the market by storm as soon as it arrived. This model was so successful. In 1958, it overtook America's own Trim and Harley-Davidson sales because Honda was very hobbyist for racing. That's why he now decided to make sports bike. He would go to the all races and note down the special features of the winning bikes. Those days, such sports used to be a marketing tool for the manufacturing companies rather than a race competition. The Honda's first bike was launched in few years, which won the first position in 1962 international racing competition. In this race, the name of Honda was made famous all over the world. In 1960, the Honda had become the world's largest motorcycle manufacturing company. And by 1968, Honda has sold 10 million units. After spending 62 years of his life, finally, Soichiro Honda had got success. But the dream had been sitting since childhood in his mind was not fulfilled yet. So Honda wanted to go further towards car manufacturing. Many people also forbade him to go further for the manufacturing of car, but he did not listen to anyone. At this time, companies like Toyota and Nissan and these big companies already established their business in Japan. It was very difficult to make a new place in the market. Honda launched his first pickup truck, which failed. After that, they launched a sport car 500 of only 1,300 units sold. After years of hard work and several dozens designs were rejected, the Honda Civic was finally launched in 1972. This is the car whose new model are famous all over the world till the date in 1980. Honda Motor was the third largest manufacturing company in Japan, and in just 10 years, it became the third largest company in the world. Today we can see Honda's name on cars, motorcycles, boats engine, aeroplane engine, and dozens of power tools. Soichiro Honda took the retirement from the company in 1973. The very next year of Civic launched, and on the 5th of August 1991, the journey of his life ended forever. My friends, always stay motivated. These hurdles always make us strong. And please share your comments how you like this video and share with your family and friends. If you won't subscribe, you might cannot see me again. Do subscribe, and we are here for you to keep you motivated.